And we'll be recording. There we go. So we'll begin in a nice relaxed position, and that's really just at your discretion, up to you, whether you feel comfortable seated, grounding down through the sit bones, or whether you'd like to lie down. We'll probably, when we begin our movement, we'll begin in a lying down posture. And wherever you'd like to be now for the first few minutes of our opening as we connect inward and just calm. So, wherever you are, seated or lying down, you may want to have your palms open, either on your knees or at your sides. Just a gesture of being open to giving and receiving. And you might feel comfortable closing down the eyes. Set the shoulders back, just roll them back if you're seated. Draw the shoulder blades a little closer together if you're lying down. Just ease into the spine, ease into the body. Draw energy up from the earth wherever you are. And let's take 3 releasing, cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So just feel free to do that on your own. Nice deep inhales and full exhales. You could just let the breath be natural now and just become mindful of sounds around you, sensations. If you're outside, there might be some sounds of nature, maybe your window's open. You just notice the buzzing of the refrigerator like I do right now, just tuning in, noticing each one, each sound, sounds nearby, sounds far off in the distance. Notice the temperature of the air around you as it touches your skin, as you breathe it in. Notice the sensation of your clothing lightly touching your body. Just becoming aware of everything external to begin. And then as you look internally, maybe you sense the play of light and shadow or some shape play or flickers on the back of your eyelids. Take your gaze inward now. Scan through the body with your mind's eye. Just notice where the energy is pulsating. Where are the majority of sensations happening for you tonight? Maybe you sense there's a bit of an achiness somewhere, or maybe there's a real lightness and openness and softness somewhere else. Sometimes you're able to sense a bit of a swirling, radiating energy, maybe in the palms of the hands, a little tingling. Maybe you sense the rhythm of the heart beating. Maybe that's overpowering everything else. Just becoming aware here, inwardly aware. And just allow the breath to be where it's comfortable for you, finding its own rhythm, focusing on the breath without making any changes. And just draw attention to the inhales and the exhales. You might even recognize that tiny pause between the breath, at the top of the breath and at the bottom. Just settling here on that simple breath, the simplicity of our breathing. When the mind may tend to wander, which is normal, maybe it's distracted by an external situation or an internal thought, just come back each time to the breath, back to that inhale, back to the pause, back to the exhale. If you'd like to, you can bring your palms together here, rubbing them together, creating a little friction, a little warmth between the hands. And as you separate them, when you're ready, you might feel that vibrating energy there. You might softly place the palms over the eyes and feel the warmth over your face, maybe that tingling sensation in the palms. As we begin to move here gently, you might softly open the eyes, even just a little bit, keep the gaze down, or you might want to keep the eyes closed. That's fine. Just re registering your space. And if you're not lying down, we'll come into a lying down posture, easing your way down, centering yourself on your mat. And let's begin by just taking a few pelvic tilts. So we'll bend the knees, draw the heels in close to the seat, take the arms, maybe the hands or palms down beside the hips, and then just start to gently rock the pelvis back and forth. You can link it with your breath if you like. So as we contract and press that lower spine into the mat, you might exhale. Then inhale as you just release. So we're not lifting the hips from the mat here, just a gentle awakening of the spine and the abdominals. And then we'll take about 3 rolling bridges here, introducing some movement into the arms as well. So as we breathe in, we'll lift the hips, press into the soles of the feet. Arms can arc overhead. Maybe the backs of the hands come to tap down to the earth behind you. And then as you exhale, arc the arms forward, gently release the spine and then the sacrum to the mat. Try that a couple or a few more times, breathing in to rise and breathing out to lower. Last time. And when you've completed your last one, draw the knees in towards the chest. Just place a hand on each knee and make some circles here with the knees sort of tight together. So use the hands to guide the knees together around in a circle. So you're massaging your lower back here in a circular motion. And then we'll change directions whenever you're ready for that. And then let's release the left leg long. Hold the right shin with your fingers interlaced and wrapped around that right shin. Draw it in nice and snugly, just a little bit off to the side. So you're pulling it in and up towards the armpit, and then roll through the right ankle. Being sure to do a few in each direction. And then from here, we're going to extend the right leg up and then point and flex through the foot. You can draw that long right leg towards you. It doesn't need to be completely straight. You can have a bend in the knee here. So as you're working through the ankle with the point and flex, you're also lengthening the hamstring. And then you might just find stillness through the leg and take 2 more breaths, drawing that leg towards you. Let's just ease off a little bit there. Support your right leg with your right hand and just open it out to the right. 2 breaths here. Maybe the left hand anchors that left hip down. Bring the leg back up and then bend into the knee, and we'll take a twist here to the left. So take your left hand to your right knee and draw it across the body and over to the left. So your torso, your chest is still facing the sky. Maybe your right arm is extended out from your right shoulder. You might gaze over to the right, Opening up the neck a little bit as you draw the right knee to the left. A nice one to help digestion if you've just eaten. A nice one anytime, really. It's a good pose. Take another full breath. And bring the gaze back to the sky. Roll yourself back onto your spine and we'll lengthen the right leg, draw the left knee in here. And if it's more comfortable to bend the right knee and ground the right foot, go ahead and do that. Roll through your left ankle here, going a few times one way, a few times the other. Drawing that left knee in really snugly. So you're working your biceps a little bit here. We will extend the leg up towards the sky, point and flex. Into the front of the ankle, the Achilles, working that calf at the same time as you're drawing the left leg towards you. And then as you're ready, just find some stillness in that ankle and take a couple more breaths, drawing that left leg towards your torso. Supporting the left leg with the left hand, just guide it out to the left. Right hand can press down on that right hip bone. 2 breaths here. And bring the leg back up. We'll bend the knee. Right hand's going to guide the left knee over to the right, finding your twist. Left arm can extend from your shoulder. Gaze can be over to the left as well. Nice deep breaths here will really give you the most benefit from this pose. Send the breath right down to the belly. Let it expand like a balloon. Bring your gaze back to the sky. Roll back onto your spine. Both knees come in. Let's lift the head, neck, and shoulders here as we take the hands to the bottoms of the feet or the ankles, wherever they reach. Press the feet into the hands. Draw the feet back towards you with your hands. So pressing and pulling in opposite directions. Taking your forehead a little closer to the knees, really tractioning the spine, opening through the shoulders as well. One more breath. And then release. With the knees where they are, keep the knees just above the hips. And we'll take the shins to parallel the mat. It might be helpful to walk your thumbs or your hands just underneath the buttocks a little bit here for lower back support. We're just gonna tap the toes down alternately. So right taps and then left taps and rises. Pressing the lower spine to the mat, and it can be a nice slow controlled movement. I'm going to go for about 3 more each side and then take it to straight legs. Option to keep the knees bent here. If you want to, you can lengthen the legs toward the sky and then just scissor kick here. So lowering the right heel to hover, And bringing it up as the left leg comes down to hover. Really keep the abdomen contracted here as you press the lower spine to the mat. And we'll do 3 more each side. Whenever you've completed, just draw the knees in towards the chest, rock side to side. Take a big breath and sigh it out. That's probably the most work we'll do in our practice tonight. Do some really concentrated stretching, stand up a little bit, but it's always nice to throw some core work in any class. We're going to come up to kneeling now, so you might want to rock along the length of the spine. There's no rush to get there, or you can roll over onto your side and then press your way up. And when you come up, we're going to come up into a high kneeling position. If you'd like a little extra padding under the knees, you could take an extra roll of your mat or take a towel or blanket underneath there. We're going to take a side stretch from our kneeling position. So slide your right, let's raise the left hand up, and then slide your right hand down the outer thigh, the outer right thigh as you lean to the right. So reaching along there past your left ear, stabilizing with the core too. So it's not really a passive stretch. Rise back up when you're ready. And let's slide the left hand down the left thigh as we raise the right arm up and then lean to the right. So rather than have your arms sort of collapse forward, you want to maybe even think about exaggerating, opening the heart space by taking the elbow back a little bit. Finding a nice lateral stretch on the right. And we'll come back to center. Bring both arms high. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's release the hands to the lower back. Interlace the fingers. And then breathe in. Squeeze the shoulder blades open through the heart space. Tilt the chin up a little bit. And let's find our rabbit pose. So keep the hands interlaced. Take the hips towards the heels. And bring your forehead, first of all, down to the earth. And then just come up onto the top of your head. So you're not really, you don't want too much weight there on the top of your head. Just reach the fists up towards the sky if you like. And then unwind, come back to your tall kneeling position. Let's come into Balasana, child's pose. And let's keep it a narrow stance. So let's keep the knees close together and reach the arms back to start. So embryo pose or seed pose. Forehead comes to maybe a pillow or the block or the earth. Hands reach back towards the feet. Take about 3 nice deep breaths here. And now just walk the hands forward. Keep yourself in your child's pose, but bring the arms forward. Maybe come up onto fingertips. Press through the shoulders so you're opening up. You're feeling this maybe in the armpits, around the shoulders, the length of the arms. And we'll come back briefly to a kneeling position just to do a little bit of a neck release. So this time, if you'd like, or you could be seated. This time we'll take a low kneel, or you could be seated. Just be here for about another minute. So let's breathe in, reach up. As you exhale, let's find that cactus shape with the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale. We'll just release the hands to the lower back. And then draw the shoulder blades together once more. And then just let the shoulders be relaxed, keeping the hands interlaced. Let's take the fists over to the right hip. And then we'll lower our right ear towards our right shoulder. And if this feels a bit too intense for the neck, then just release the hands. Extend your left hand out from your left shoulder. Your choice. As you roll the head forward in a semicircle, take the fists, the hands interlaced over to your left hip. And then press down through your right shoulder as your left ear makes its way towards your left shoulder. Just release that right hand if it feels too intense. Bring the hands to the lap and do a few semicircle rolls here with the neck. If you are in the habit, if it's in your practice to do full neck rolls, go ahead and do that. If you like making full circles with the neck. And then just really take your time with this and explore and see if there are areas that need a little bit more attention, passion. Linger there a little bit. Let's go one more round or one more time to each side. Bring your gaze back up. And we'll make our way to a tabletop position. From our tabletop here, we're going to take some cat-cows, but maybe in a circular, if you want to try this tonight, a circular form, like tracing big circles with your torso. So dipping the belly down and rounding it up towards the left, around, and then, so working in one direction. It doesn't matter which direction. Let's try it out, see how that feels. If you prefer traditional cat-cow, you could do that. It's all just movement of the spine is what our goal is here. If you're doing those big circles, then you could change directions. One more time around. And then we're going to tuck the toes, come up into a downward facing dog. And let's take a deep bend in the right knee and push the torso almost as if you want your chest to come towards that thigh or knee. So you're pressing the left heel back. So you're taking a really deep bend in that right knee. And then switch it up. Take a really deep bend in the left knee as you press the right heel back. Just try that a few more times. You might feel a nice opening in the fascia of the feet this way too, and the toes. And then let's come to a still downward facing dog. Tilt the pelvis up so it's reaching for the sky. Let your head be heavy. You can gaze back towards your feet as your heels press towards the back of your mat. We're going to take an inhale and raise the right leg up behind. Press that heel up, lift it high. And as you exhale, we'll step right foot forward. Finding, we're gonna keep our, this is runner's lunge. We'll keep our left knee raised and then just rock back and forth. You might have blocks nearby and they might come in handy here. Or you might just be up on your fingertips, whatever you like. Just find a little movement here, rocking back and forth again. This is really nice for that left hip flexor right now and the fascia in the bottom of the left foot. And we're going to come into a modified pyramid pose here. So lengthen the front leg, come up onto the right heel, point the right toes toward the sky. And my back left heel is lifted. Yours might or might not be. Just it's quite. It's just a variation on pyramid pose. So your stance is quite wide here. So pretty common to have that back heel lifted. And then just let your head drape down over that long right leg. We'll take one more breath here. Try to parallel the hips to the front edge of the mat. So you might need to draw that left hip forward a little bit, draw the right hip back, feeling that nice opening in the right hamstring. And now let's come back, low lunge, so lower the left knee. Come back briefly to tabletop. Take your right knee to match your left. And we're going to find puppy pose here. So we're going to aim to keep the hips above the knees and walk the hands forward. Maybe you come down to forearms and forehead. Maybe you come a little deeper to chest and chin. Your choice. We'll take 3 breaths here, opening through the shoulders and the heart. Slowly make your way back to tabletop. So walk the hands back in. And then we'll come up to a downward facing dog. And take a breath here. This time it's left leg that rises with our inhale. Press the heel up and back. Exhale, step it forward, coming into that runner's lunge. So we're keeping the right knee high, and you may want your blocks. You might just come up onto fingertips or be on your palms. And just rock back and forth here. Adjust your stance. Notice the sensation, your right hip flexor, and fascia in the bottom of the right foot. Softening into that hip flexor. Let's find our pyramid pose here. So straighten that left leg. Doesn't have to be completely straight. You can have a bend in the knee. And just softly drape yourself over your left leg. Again, try to keep the hips parallel to the front edge of your mat. And let the head be heavy. One more breath. And we'll lower the right knee and we'll come back to tabletop. So bring the left knee to match the right. This time we'll take a wide-legged child's pose. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. So if it might feel nice to have a cushion under your forehead, you might want to grab that. Getting into the hips a little bit more here as we widen the knees. And then you can walk the hands forward if you like. You could hug a pillow or bolster if you like. Time for another deep, relaxed breath. We'll come back here to our tabletop position. We're going to tuck the toes, come back to a downward dog once again. Let's raise the right leg up as we breathe in. And we'll step forward. I'm going to set up here for a warrior two pose. So spin your back foot down. And then as you're ready, windmill those arms up. Right arm's going to reach forward, left hand back. And take a moment to solidify your foundation here, grounding down through both feet. Drawing attention to the outer edge of that back foot too. So we're not rolling in on the big toe edge of the foot. And let's reverse our warrior, flip the palm, lean back as you inhale. Find a nice side body stretch. And as you exhale, we'll find extended side angle. Come with that right forearm to rest on that right thigh. Reach the left arm up. And then reach it long past your ear. Try that version. A nice side body stretch. Back to our warrior two. And then take both of the hands down to frame your right foot. We'll step back here to a plank, and you can lower your knees if you like, or stay high. And take a breath in. And we're just going to softly lower down, nice and slowly, all the way to the belly. When we get there, we'll press up, find a baby cobra, little back bend. Exhale, release. Take another back bend here. You might slide your fingertips back a little bit, press it a little higher. Just depends on, your practice is always individual, so it just depends on how you're feeling in that lower back today. Let's take another breath here. And then exhale, release down. And we'll press back through tabletop or tall plank. Find our downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Next in breath, left leg rises. And with your exhale, we're going to step it forward between the hands. Set up for our warrior two. So ground the back right foot and then windmill the arms up. Reaching forward with your left hand this time. Just take a moment to check in with the feet there, your foundation of your pose. Pressing down through all three corners of each foot. And then flip your left palm, breathe in and reverse your warrior, lean back. Lean forward as you exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to left thigh, reach up to start. And then reach long with your right arm. Feel that lengthening between the ribs and all those muscles. Back to warrior two, inhale. And exhale, bring the hands down, frame the left foot. Step back, tall plank or from the knees. And we'll take a vinyasa here. So you can lower down right to your belly if you like, or halfway. And then press up to your back bend of choice. Press back to downward facing dog. We're going to set up now, getting things nice and slowed down again. Set up for your pigeon pose. So raise the right heel high, three-legged dog. Exhale, we'll bring the right knee towards right wrist. Maybe the left ankle is towards the left wrist, or maybe that ankle is on a little bit more of an angle. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to parallel your front shin with the front edge of the mat. Reach up nice and tall through your crown. Lengthen up, and then breathe out and lower down. You might come down to a block here. You might place your forehead on two stacked fists. You might come all the way down. We're going to take a nice rest here for about 8 breaths. So settle into the pose, connect with your breath for focus, for strength, for release. Time for 2 more nice full breaths. And then just ease out here. Use your hands to press into the earth and guide yourself up. Tuck your left toes. Send the right leg back. Maybe you pedal here in your downward dog. Maybe you lift the leg up and find some hip circles. Take a moment to just reintroduce blood flow and circulation to that right hip and leg. And then we'll set up for the other side. Left leg will rise when you breathe in. As you breathe out, left knee towards left wrist. Set up here for your pigeon on this side. Take your time setting up using any props that you might need. The hips seem quite unleveled, and you can always place a block or a cushion under that left hip. Breathe in, lengthen through the spine, and then breathe out, soften into your pigeon. For another nice big breath. And there's no rush. When you're ready, start to release the pose, pressing up, first of all, with the arms, lengthening the arms, pressing into the palms, tuck the right toes. Find some movement in the left leg. Let's come back to tabletop position. And then we're going to just send the right shin out, kind of like a kickstand, pivoting on the right knee. Take weight in your right hand, lengthen your left leg, and just find a supported side plank here, reaching up first of all with the left hand. And then reach long with your left hand past your ear. Nice side body stretch. If you want to, you can take some big arm circles, maybe 2 in one direction, 2 in the other direction. Big breaths here. We'll make our way back to table and take that in the opposite side. So left shin becomes like a kickstand as you lengthen your right leg, press into your left hand, reach the right arm up. Ground your right foot and then reach your right arm long. Maybe taking that option, some movement through the arm and shoulder joint. And we'll return to tabletop and we'll take a seat. I'm going to take a straddle forward fold here. So we're going to spread the legs, straddling them out. And just if you want to take a moment, if you feel you need to place a blanket under the hips, if you like, you just want to be long through the spine here. So sometimes a blanket rolled up under the hips can help. Then when you are ready, you'll just walk forward. Any amount is fine. So we're trying to keep the toes facing up toward the sky. You might use a block here for your forearms. You might you'll know when you've come far enough. So you want to keep those sit bones connected to the earth. I'm going to take about 5 breaths here. So wherever you are, be in a position that's comfortable to hold for a few breaths, not overly intense. Forward folds are a really nice way to end a practice, especially in the evening. Really calming, gets that parasympathetic nervous system activated. 2 more breaths. To release, just slowly press your way up using your hands for support here. Help you rise. I'm going to come back to lie on our spines now. So you might bend the knees and just ground the soles of the feet, center yourself on your mat. Have a block nearby or cushion. Lean all the way back. Just slowly roll back, engaging your abdominals. As you do so, softening right down till your crown meets the mat. Let's place that block or that cushion or bolster, whatever you happen to have, underneath the hips, underneath the sacrum. So take a moment just to set it up here. We're going to find our supported bridge for about 8 or so breaths, 8 or 10 breaths here, really softening. Arms might feel nice to have them in a cactus position. They might want to stretch overhead. They might want to rest at your sides, palms up or palms down. Just experiment here. Just have the legs, the feet at a stance that's comfortable where you don't have to use any muscular energy to hold the legs. Just close down the eyes. Be with your breath here. couple more nice, full, rich breaths. Big inhales and big exhales. We'll just press into the soles of the feet, just enough to lift the hips. Slide that block or cushion or bolster out from underneath you. Lower the hips back to the earth. Maybe a final pose here before Shavasana if you like, or maybe you'd like to come right into your Shavasana. I'm going to take a happy baby pose, or you could even come into a modified happy baby, taking the knees wide, rocking side to side. Maybe the heels come above the knees and you grasp the feet. Maybe there's another posture you'd like. Go ahead, take whatever pose you'd like before Shavasana. And when you're ready, settle yourself into your final posture of the evening of your practice, your Shavasana. Gather props if you like, pillows, blankets, bolsters, blocks, prop yourself up, or support yourself however you would like. Continue to be with your breath and that spaciousness in the mind. Allow softness in the whole body. Find yourself here just to soften the brow and the little muscles around each eye. Clench the jaw. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Take some time here just to allow yourself to rest and be. you'd like a little more time here in your Shavasana tonight, and opportunity is there, please remain. If you'd like to start to come out, just deepen the breath to begin. Maybe swallow a couple times, rock the head side to side, move the eyes, behind the closed lids. Just find any movements in the body feel organic and natural to you. Letting those movements grow. If you do choose to finish your practice in seated posture, just ease your way up gently, maybe rolling over to one side, taking a breath or two there. We'll close together with a big breath. So let's raise the arms as we breathe in. Bring the palms together and then lower them to the heart with your exhale. You might just take a moment here, beginning of a new week, to connect with a positive or inspirational thought or thought to gratitude, anything that comes to mind. Thanks so much to all of you for being here tonight to share in this practice together. I hope that your week ahead is great and filled with much peace.